Y'all come on in. Everybody come on in. Come on in, Moniqua, and Deidre, Adrian, Tanya, Karen, Christy, Tina, Valerie. Everybody come on in. Over there on YouTube. Everybody come on in. Come on in. We got the beautiful Sawanda McCreary on here today. We are coming on here to talk about her very, very, very handsome son, who was set up. And I just ask that you all share this video. I ask that you all show her so much love in the comments. And I ask that you all give her the respect that y'all would give any other mother or anybody else that came on here to tell their story. And just send her a whole lot of positive vibes, a whole lot of love, so that as she goes back and she watches this video, she can look at it and she can see and read and feel all the love coming for everybody. So I'm just going to give y'all time to come on in. Y'all come on in, Tara. And Jack Stacks Racked Up. Now, what kind of name is that? Welcome. Hey, Joy. Hey, Joy, come on in. Janae, get your trigger finger ready, because any type of disrespect or anything that spills over into this interview, this is not about no bullshit. Block. Period. Block. Because ain't nothing that I got going on got nothing to do with Miss McCreary. So, like I was saying, today we are on here to speak with the beautiful Miss Sawanda. I'm saying it right? Is it
Yes.
Miss Sawanda McCreary? She's on here to speak about her son. Her son was killed in Mobile, Alabama in 2019. And I just want to say I appreciate you for coming on here to tell your story and to speak about your baby, and to whatever it is, whatever your intention is for coming on here. I just pray to God that you get everything that you want to receive out of this interview. So first, you can introduce yourself to the people, and you can let them know where you're from and all that kind of good stuff before we get started.
My name's Shawanda McCreary. I live in
Shawanda.
Atlanta.
Okay, it's Shawanda. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But it's spelled Shawanda. That's fine.
Okay.
Oh, I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm here to talk about my son, Justin Cortez McCreary, who I believe was murdered back in April 28, 2019 in Mobile, Alabama. I have reason to believe that it wasn't an accident. It was foul play involved.
Okay.
And
Go ahead.
And Justin, yes, Justin, he did wrong because he was selling drugs. He had a large amount of money. He had a large amount of drugs, and Justin had went on a shopping spree and had bought multiple clothing as well. And I was told by the detective that Justin was going 120 miles down the interstate and went over a ramp, and it plunged over and hit the train track. Takira May, who was the sole survivor of of that Jeep, she said that she had a broken back, broken spine, two broken legs, two broken ankles. I'm sorry, two broken ankles, and a collapsed lung. And I don't understand how she said she walked train tracks for a whole hour looking for help when it's businesses and her grandmother stayed less than 5 minutes away from the scene. So why did she have to walk a whole hour? How could she walk a whole hour with broken bones in her body? How was you able to get out of the Jeep in
Right.
that condition?
With
And
broken, two broken ankles.
yes, with two broken ankles. How did you was able to walk with two broken ankles, a broke back, a punctured lung, and a broke spine?
Right.
And less than a month later, you on a boat, showing yourself on the boat. You saying that bitch capping, but I'm living my best life. So Detective Pounds told me, he called me and he was yelling at me. He was talking real nasty to me about Justin. And I told him, I said, well, how do you know that was Justin? I said, if you say that the train blew up the Jeep, how did you know that was my son? He said, because I checked Justin ID and I have his cell phone. He told me he had all Justin property. Now they've been stringing me along for 2.5 years for Justin property because I wanted to have his pants sent to forensic science to be tested to see who else blood is capable of that's on my son's clothing besides his. So now 2 weeks later, they come and tell me that they don't have none of the evidence. The police from safekeeping said they don't have nothing belongs to Justin.
And this is with the Mobile County Police Department.
Yes.
Okay. So take me back. Okay, so when you got the phone call um, about your son, and you got the phone call that your son had been in, did you get a phone call saying that he had been in an accident, or did they automatically tell you that he was deceased?
Well, I got a phone call from Justin's baby mother. She had called me around 7 o'clock. She said that the young lady, Takira May mother, came and told her that Justin was dead. And that's what I don't understand either. How did her family members knew that he was dead when postward they didn't even find his body till almost 9 o'clock that morning? But
The
they
following
told
morning.
the following morning because it happened Sunday. It happened Sunday morning around 4 o'clock in the morning.
And she did she find out at 9 o'clock Sunday morning or Monday morning? Was when
Sunday morning. Sunday morning.
okay. Okay. So what is it that you believe happened, Miss McCreary?
I believe my son was robbed for large amounts of money, for large amounts of drugs. They took out his brand new clothing that he had. Takira made the girl who was the sole survivor. Her uncle put Justin's clothes on Facebook to sell them, trying to sell his clothes.
I know you motherfucking lying.
No,
Okay. So so when you saw that your baby's stuff was online for sale, what is it that you immediately do when you saw that?
I took pictures of it and I sent it to the DA, the district attorney in Mobile, and to the attorney general in Montgomery, Steve Marshall.
So what is the police department trying to say to you? What are they trying to say um, about what did they say that they think happened? What are they
They
trying to
said they trying to say Justin was drunk and he was over the limit, the legal limit, alcohol, and he was driving fast and outrageous, and he just plunged over the concrete wall, and the Jeep landed onto the train track. Now, this another thing that I don't understand either, because the police report is not even consistent with what Takira May is saying. The police report states that as soon as the train conductor approached the Jeep, that the Jeep was already on fire, and he still hit the Jeep, but the Jeep was already on fire. Takira May says in her statement on the police report, when the train approached the Jeep, it hit it and caught a fire. But the train conductor said the train was already on fire. So who put?
That the car was already on fire.
Yes,
So he got hit by the train. So did the car
just
get hit by the, so did the car get hit by the train?
yes. The car got hit by the train. The Jeep got hit by the train. But mind you, that she said as Justin was going over the bridge when the Jeep plunged over the concrete wall pillar, Justin body plunged and flew out the sunroof, and she didn't see his body no more.
So how was
She
the
said,
hit? So he flew out of the sunroof. So how was the
"Yeah,
car? How was the car seated on the train tracks? Was the car sitting upright or was it flipped over when before it got hit by the train? Do you know?
they said they say that it was head down.
It was flipped over.
It was head down from the front. It was head
Flash
down
down.
from yeah.
Mm. So you believe, and I'm just gonna say allegedly, just to protect my platform, and I gotta say allegedly because I wasn't there, right?
Mhm, right.
Allegedly 1 million, 1 bazillion, quadrillion percent true. What you saying?
Mhm.
So when so you feel like do you feel like she had something to do with it? Do you feel like she set him up to be robbed?
Yes. He knew her less than a week. And she had been following Justin on, she had been trying to get at him through Facebook because he was like any other young boy. They would show their money on Facebook, they would show the drugs on Facebook. So they had been watching him.
Mm-hmm.
They had been watching his page. This was premeditated murder. They planned to set this up with this girl because she was going with one of the young men that passed away that was in the Jeep. His name was Charles Gass.
So it was 3 people in the Jeep.
It was four in all, including Justin. It was three people deceased and one person survived. And plus, Justin had a pit bull. His dog survived. He had a baby pit bull. She said this Jeep caught on fire, but the dog still survived.
Mm, mm, that's crazy. When you spoke to the police department and they told you, because I'm just trying to figure out, I'm just, for me, back when I was
Mm,
younger, you know, hell, they can't put me in jail. I was 18. I was running dope from Mobile to Texas. And
mm,
one thing that I was always taught was you don't drive fast. If you're gonna put it when you get over, you put your signal light on. You make sure you don't give the police no reason to pull you over at all under no circumstances. And if he had that type of amount of money, and you say he had drugs in the car,
yeah.
and if he had that amount of money and drugs in the car like that, um, and I'm pretty sure this wasn't his first time, probably, making a run or whatever it was. Matter of fact, where was he headed? Where were they headed?
He left. He was doing security from Alabama to Mobile. I mean, from Atlanta to Mobile. So he was going to Atlanta to work at. He worked at Cookies and Cream nightclub that night. It was a strip club. So he did security that night. Now they can't bring their own drinks into the club. They can bring their own drinks into the club because they don't sell alcohol. So they said that Takira May had the alcohol, and um his drinks was spiked. Justin drink was spiked. She didn't drink alcohol that night. They have footage and they have camera. Those two boys who was in the car, they took video footage of them all night long. And I don't understand how um the young men even got back in the car with Justin when security at Cookies and Cream said they got into a fight. They said they had an altercation there
So Justin got into a physical fight with somebody inside the club
with those two guys who was in the car.
with him.
Yes, the two
So
guys.
the guy, so those weren't his friends or anything like that.
No, he met them through Takira May. He did not know them.
So after they got in a fight with him, he got he let them ride in the car with him on his way to Atlanta.
No, he went on his way to Atlanta. The way that they was going and they got off on the bridge, they was 5 minutes away from Takira May residence.
Okay, so they were still in Mobile.
They were still in Mobile.
Mm, 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 mm. So what did the toxicology report reveal? Did you get any results of the toxicology report that said that he had drugs in his system or his drink had been spiked or anything like that?
Now, on the toxicology report, it proved that he was at the limit, the legal limit for the alcohol. Mind you, Justin did not drink alcohol. Justin did not drink. Justin couldn't hold alcohol. We got multiple videos where Justin vomit after trying to drink with his brother.
So to your
So
knowledge, so to your knowledge, and he wouldn't have even been indulging in that and then get behind the wheel anyway.
exactly, exactly. He when when I made it to the, and I don't understand this. When I made it to the funeral home the next day after they released Justin body, the funeral home director told me, he said he was killed by multiple blunt force trauma to the back of the head. So I had got Justin death certificate, and I don't understand how the death certificate was ready in 4 days. But the death certificate say they didn't do an autopsy on him. The death certificate states that he had multiple blunt force trauma to the back of the head that will cause his death.
Which means that somebody had to be beating on him to probably knock him unconscious so they could rob him.
Exactly.
Oh wow. Your son was driving crazy all day long when they was together. Your son decided I gotta do it. Okay, Brittany. Brittany, I don't want to block you because she's on here telling her story, and I understand that she may be talking about your family, and um look, she's on here to say what it is that she believes happened as his mother. I don't want her to be disrespected at no level on here. Janae, I'm gonna ask you to go back through these comments, and if anybody is in these comments disrespecting her, calling her out her name, or trying to come on here and tell her story, ban them off this page. Ban them off this page. Cause that ain't, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do none of that. She is on here as a mother. She is on here as a mother. Y'all can have y'all time another kind of time, but this right here, this ain't it. This if y'all can't understand that this is his mama and she looking for answers and certain stuff, don't sit right with her. That is her prerogative. She's on here to tell her story. Now y'all can go on another platform or y'all can make y'all a live and y'all can go do that on your own platform. But what we not gonna do on here, what we not gonna do on here while she is on here talking about her son, We're not gonna disrespect her. We're not gonna do that. But, ma'am, just excuse me for 1 second, just while I just let me cut up just 1 minute. Now, damn it, I'm sitting on here trying to keep my motherfucking cool and have this interview be professional as I possibly can. But what y'all not gonna do is bring y'all motherfucking that. Excuse me, Miss McCreary. You can mute your thing if you need to. I'm finna cuss these hoes out real quick because look, we ain't finna do none of that. What we not gonna do is have y'all come on here and be disrespectful to this woman because she is the one that's on here hurting about her. We ain't gonna. We ain't, look. I don't care what her son was on. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. She on here to tell her story. She on here to say what she feel like happened. This ain't y'all time. This not y'all time. Y'all can't come on here and do that. Don't come on here and Keisha. That's fine. Block. I don't really care. I don't really care. Don't come on here disrespecting her. Block these hoes off my shit, Janae. Block it. Where they can't say nothing on here. Y'all not gonna come on here and do that to this woman and she had to bury her son. Y'all not gonna do that. This ain't what the fuck this is. This is not no show where we read people and we doing all that kind of bullshit. Don't do that. Don't do that on here. Show her some fucking respect. Show her some respect. And if you can't do that, get y'all motherfucking ass up off of my shit. And that's just on period. Thank you, Akel. She not gonna go back through these goddamn comments and read none of that bullshit. Delete every last one of them comments out of here, Janae. We can have a block party. I don't mind. Now, Miss McQuarrie.
Yeah.
So, about your very handsome son, because we're not gonna do that. What is it that you feel like what is it that you feel like you want to put out in the public about what happened to your son? What is your intention for even doing this interview when it comes to talk about your son? Are you looking for like maybe somebody come forward to and I understand that, but this ain't if y'all want to come on here and tell y'all story, y'all could do that. But right now, it's not the time. Y'all ain't finna do that. Don't do that. So, what is it that you want people to know about your son? What is it that you want people to remember about your son? And what is your intentions on doing this interview? Is it to maybe get somebody to come forward and tell you the truth and give you some type of closure?
Yeah. And that's the thing. Some of the girls in Mobile who hung with Takira May, they came to me and told me that Miss McCreary, she had said that that was gonna be our last day seeing Justin. So the girls, they even went to the headquarters to talk to Mobile Police Department and give them a statement on what Takira May had said. And it took them like an hour and something before they even came and got the statements. They threw that out the window. The detective told me, I told him, I said, I believe Justin was murdered. The detective told me, he said, Miss McCreary, your son chose to be with those people. He said he chose to hang with them. I said, my son didn't even know those people for a whole week. And I even talked to Jeremy Patterson's father. I talked to the sister, and they don't believe her story either. One of the boys who was deceased in the back seat, they don't believe her story as well. But
Hold on. Clack Squad, handle these disrespectful bitches in the comments. Handle them in the comments for this mother. Because right now she can't see none of these comments, and I'm so glad she can't. Handle them and Janae block them at the same time. Go ahead.
And the thing about her family, that's something that they always did. They bring guns to a kid fight, and they know for themselves. Her cousin shot Takira May. She been shot since Justin death. Her cousin shot at her 8 times, but she hit her 3 times. The cousin called me. She said, Miss Shawanda, she said, when I go to court for my cousin, when I shot her, can I bring up what happened to Justin? She said, because the truth need to be out She said he wasn't in no accident. Even her uncle, the girl who shot her, the girl who shot Takira May, is Takira May's uncle. He have reached out to me on on Facebook as well. The wife have reached out to me. The wife wrote up a whole letter saying that she set all three of those boys up.
All three of them what?
She set all three of them up.
She she set them up.
She set them up.
So when the police let me just take it back a little bit. When was any drugs or money found in the car?
No, no guns. And Justin had three guns. He was trying to get them into his job that night. No guns was found.
No guns, no drugs, no money was found in the car.
Yes, nothing. Nothing was found at the scene.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So from what you telling me, because I don't have a dog in this fight. But from what you telling me, it does sound like a setup. Because how can he have all these drugs and this money and all of this stuff? And another thing, if the car set on fire, we're just gonna use our critical thinking. If the car was on fire, how is it possible that they were able to get clothes out of the car that weren't burned up to put on Facebook to sell?
Exactly.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. From what you it just don't make no sense.
It
So
don't.
go ahead, go ahead.
And then when me and my family we went to visit Takira May in the hospital, we was talking to her. We was trying to get answers to see what had happened. You know, what had happened to Justin and what had happened in the altercation. The girl kept calling Justin niggas. That nigga did this. That nigga did that. And she started kicking her legs up and down. So when I seen her legs going up and down, I moved the cover. She didn't have no cast on her ankles. Her ankles weren't broke. She just had blood on her legs. I said, "How you get all this blood on you?" I said, "You don't have no cut on you." I said, "And they didn't clean you up good." She told me, she said, "I've been involved with 6 different murders." She said, "And God spared my life in each one of them." She said, "I believe I have a calling on my life because God spared me." She didn't even call Justin death or accident. She called Justin death a murder.
Mm, implicating some bullshit.
Yes,
Because if it would have been an accident, that's just what she would have referred to it as, and not a murder. So by using the word murder, she is insinuating that he was killed by somebody.
yes.
So what because you know what, in this interview, it's not only to just bring awareness to his death and to get some questions answered that you may want to get answered, but just as a mother, because it's been a lot of deaths that has been happening and a lot of young men have been getting killed. As a mom, as someone who gave life and gave birth, how has this affected? And I'm not asking a dumb question because I know it, but I just want you as a mom, so that people that could be watching this, um, and how is it as a mother? How have you been able to cope with what's been going on? How have you coped?
I've been going through counseling for the last year, but a lot of times I would lay in the bed all day. I won't get up. My daughter, she had to beg me, "Mom, please, get up out the bed." But I'd be so depressed and I'd be so stressed because I miss Justin and I know that my son was involved in foul play. And just to know that it's somebody out there, she's out there, and she helped set Justin up. And my son is gone. He's deceased because of them robbing him for drugs and money. His life is gone. He have 3 children. He have 2 boys and a girl. His children have a hard time sometime at school. The teacher will call the parent and tell them that, Junior have been crying all day in class, wanting his daddy. He was a wonderful dad. He loved all 3 of his children. He would he would do whatever he could for his children. And this have just been heartbreaking for the whole family because his brother can't talk about him. His sisters, they still cry all the time about Justin. She took my best friend, she took my child, she took my baby. She took my baby away from me for drugs and money. They robbed him. They set him up for drugs and money.
When I hear you speak, um, you ain't coming on here. Um, you're not coming on here being belligerent. You're not on here um, cussing nobody out. I do all that for you. You don't got to do it. You don't got to step out of character. Um, but you're coming on here just as and I could just see and hear the.
Don't make me cry.
I'm trying not to cry. Holy Ghost, keep. I just feel so bad for you. I just couldn't imagine, and I just couldn't imagine let my children dying before me, let alone my baby having to leave like that, you know. And for anybody out there that feels like, because I'm gonna try to bring it back to professionalism. For anybody out there that feels like what she's saying is false, that she's lying, y'all don't have no right to tell her how to feel about her child. If you ain't lost no child, if you ain't lost a child, y'all don't have no right to sit on here and try to tell her how to feel about her baby being gone. Because her baby can't come back here. Y'all, and other ones that lost children in the incident too. Because 3 people died, right?
Yes.
Right. Ain't nobody's on here saying that y'all don't have a right to feel a certain way about your loved ones. Ain't nobody saying that. Y'all got every right to be hurt. Y'all got every right to be angry and upset. And if y'all want to tell y'all story, my platform is open to y'all too, but y'all not gonna come on here and disrespect her. Y'all just not gonna do that. Y'all have no right to put y'all mouth on her when she's the one who's grieving her child. And I'm not saying that nobody pain, if the other people pain is no less than her pain, but she has the stage and she has the floor, and ain't nobody on right to tell her how to grieve. She is on here to talk about her baby, and she's not on here trying to make it seem like her son was squeaky clean. That's not what she's doing. She's saying, look, my son was involved in some bullshit. He was out here selling dope. She ain't saying that her son was an angel, but she has every right to talk about her baby. Every right. Every right. So, how would you like for your baby boy, to be remembered? Outside of him, okay, he sold drugs. Okay, that's what he did. But the son that you knew at home, when he was around family, when he was around friends, when he was just acting silly? How would you like for people to remember your baby?
Remember Justin as the bubbly person that he always was. He loved the joke and have fun. He would give you the shirt off his back. He was just bubbly. It's like nothing really couldn't make him mad. He just loved everybody, from all different kind of backgrounds. He just got along with everybody. It's not too many people that can say nothing bad about Justin, because he always been spoiled. I spoiled him. He always been clinging to me. We always did things together. And now that's out the window. It's like I can't even look at a football game because there's stuff that me and Justin did together.
I'm just trying to do that. We just get together. I'm trying to. Hmm. You're so strong, Miss McCreary. You're so strong, and to sit here, um, and be able to hold it together, and be so poised, and to speak so eloquently, and not with anger, but just with what any mother would want. I just want answers.
Yeah.
I just want to
Yeah.
know what happened to my baby. And you
Hmm.
have every right to use this platform because there's over 1,000 people on here. You have every right to come on here and use this platform in hopes that somebody just hit you up and tell you something. The
Yeah.
Mobile Police Department, for y'all to lose her son's belongings where she can't, so you didn't get to get his clothes.
Nothing. I just got they had a pair of cut boxes, they had a sock, and they had an earring. Now they supposed to have, mind you, they supposed to have sent Justin belongings with his body over to the funeral home. And why the detective kept Justin belongings, his personal belongings, I don't know.
So why didn't they do an autopsy on him?
They had said they had led me to believe that they had did an autopsy, and so probably 2 years later, I had talked with the people from forensic science. They looked up in the computer. They said, Miss McCrary, they said Justin wasn't cut. They told me, they said he never had an autopsy done. Even a death certificate say he never had an autopsy done. They led me to believe they did an autopsy, but they were stringing me along, and all the time they did. So it's like it makes me think, did the detective cover this up? Did the detective have something to do with it? Because in the police report, it says that the detective made it there in 5 minutes. Now the chief of police come back and say, well, the detective say he wrote it wrong on the police report. He was there in 25 minutes, not 5 minutes. I said, so well, why the date, the year, the time, and everything else is wrong on the it's just like the police report was bogus. And and I want to tell you this. I have heard, I have had got word in the street. They even said my family members knew that girl, and they helped set Justin up. They did the hit on it because
That
they was
that so word on the street is that your family, some of your family also helped to set your son up.
exactly because they was big time drug dealers as well. And Justin was making more money. It's like you on this corner, you on this street, but you making more money than me. We got to get rid of you because you bringing drugs from Atlanta. People it is more potent than the drugs that's in Alabama. And Justin getting all the customers because at one time one of the cousins was telling Justin, you have to pay me $100 to stand on the street. And Justin was like, I'm not paying you no money to stand. And it was on a family, it's at a family house.
Wow.
So my family didn't even let us know that they knew the two boys and they knew the young lady.
Wow.
So I just want answers. I want the girls that had came to me from the beginning. I want them to come back forth and tell everything that they know because they was with them that Saturday. They was with all of them. They was with Justin Insecure May and those two boys. Everything that they told me in the beginning, come forth now and tell it. And the only reason why I came forth now is because they've been stringing me along telling me they had his property and I wanted to get his clothing. They take him to forensic science to see who else blood could be in his clothing.
Right. Because that can kind of tell you who, if it was a struggle or if he fought back, and if the people that assaulted him, that murdered him, if their blood is on his clothes.
Exactly. Now his clothes gone. And I got a call from they happened to call me today and told me that the lieutenant, I need to get in touch with the lieutenant and they got to find out who signed those clothes.
And who signed his clothes out.
Mm-hmm. What
So,
detective, what police, who signed the clothes out?
right. Because where would the clothes go? Where would they put the clothes?
If this foul play involved and the detective had if somebody had something to do with it, they got rid of it.
Wow.
And you just don't know. I'm getting so many friend requests since me and you've been on this phone, on the phone, on live.
Miss McCreary, I just really hate that you got to go through this. Because, it don't matter what Justin was doing in the street. And that's what y'all got to understand. It don't matter what he was doing in the street. What he was doing in the street, that's what he was doing in the street. But this is from his mother's point of view. His mama is left here to grieve and try to put her life back together. You see what I'm saying? So all for everybody that feels like, and I hope that this can be an eye opener to people that out here selling that. I'm just gonna keep it real, Miss McCreary. To y'all that's out here selling drugs, to y'all, to the young men, because we lose so many. To y'all that's out here selling drugs and doing all that type of illegal type of bullshit that'll keep you. Look, stop. And every time I see a dude flash money on Facebook or online, whether it's a male or a female, I think it's like the dumbest, most ignorant thing that you can do. Because when you do that, when you want to be like the celebrities who have all the security around them, where a person can't touch them with a 40-foot pole, can't nobody get to them, and they taking pictures and they got money stacked this high right here doing all that. You know, I hope I hope that this teaches you guys to stop. Y'all don't got nothing to be. Y'all don't have nothing to prove to nobody about what your pockets look like. Y'all don't. If you making money, you don't gotta prove that to nobody online, because when you do that, you open yourself up for stuff like this to happen. You open yourself up for people to know exactly. They already 9 times out of 10 probably know where you lay your head at. You know, you open yourself up for this type of shit to happen. Stop trying to floss and be like these celebrities and all that shit, because y'all don't have that type of protection. And 9 times out of 10, you ain't even thinking about paying for that type of protection because you feel so secure in the people that you have around you. But money is the love of money. It's the root of all evil. And it's a lot of poor people. It's a lot of people that's struggling. It's a lot of people that want to get to the next level, and everybody don't want to work for it. They just don't. They just don't. Some people wake up and what they consist of is going out and see who they can take from. It ain't about them getting out hustling or making money for themselves. It's just not. Um, what would you like to say if you could speak to another mother? If you could look hindsight and knowing the dealings and the things that he was out here doing in the street, if you could have one last conversation with your son, what would you tell him?
I would tell him the same thing I have been telling him over and over. Justin, please stop telling me. Justin, please stay away from Mobile, Alabama. I have told him so many times, Mobile is not nothing but trouble. Those boys, those young boys getting killed, and those police is not investigating. They not locking nobody up. It's just like your life to have no value to it when you selling drugs. And I would just plead with my son. I was taking just in different places here in Atlanta. He was getting ready to do different roles for where they was doing casting calling, but he still got trapped some kind of way with the fast money. And I begged him all the time, please stop selling drugs. I used to take my son looking for jobs, and I was his supervisor on some jobs, and it's heartbreaking. I'm gonna tell you, I feel like sometimes my heart be so heavy, like a ton of bricks just on me, on my heart, and I can barely just hold them every day. Sometimes I can't walk, I can't respond because it hurts so bad that just. And I used to always tell him, I said, Justin, if something happened to you, what's gonna happen for me and your children? I said, you're gonna leave me and your children. I'm gonna be all right, Mom. I'm gonna be all right. He always thought he would be all right out there in the street. And he trusted so many people. And I used to tell Justin, you don't know how them streets feel, baby. You don't know how them streets. Cause you
How
went
old?
on,
Go
he was
ahead. Go ahead.
because he went on street person when he was raised up in church. He was one of the boys who sung in the choir, who was a usher, who played football since he was 5 till he was 28 because he played semi-pro football, college football, high school football, middle school, park ball. I used to always keep him busy. But once your children get grown, it's only so much that you can do. But as a parent, I want to let the people know and understand just because he was selling drugs, his life still had value to it. He still left 3 children behind. He still left a mother behind, sister and 2 sisters and a brother behind. He didn't deserve what happened to him. He didn't deserve to get robbed and beaten and they took his life. He didn't deserve that.
He didn't. If there's a lot of mothers that are watching right now, um, a lot of moms who have lost their sons to senseless murders, um, they're watching now. I see them in the comments. And if you could speak to a mother that knows that her son is going down the wrong path, and if you could speak to her, and if you could tell her, and some, because I'm gonna tell you what I do know, is some mothers out there that condone their sons selling drugs. It's some mothers that are out there that um, like the fast money because their sons are taking damn good care of them. if you could speak to those mothers, if you could say something to those mothers, what is it that don't really have a grasp on their son and that's not really trying to be like, look, don't do that. If you could speak to those mothers because their sons are still here, which means they still have a chance to go down another path. If you could tell them anything, what would you tell them?
I would tell them get your child involved in different activities. Be there for your child. Pray for them. Pray with them. Take them to church. Be I have a friend, and this personal to me because I seen her son grow up. I seen Anthony grow up just like she seen Justin grow up. And I tell you the same things that my son ended up doing once he started selling drugs. I could see the same thing that may happen with him. I tell her to be there for him. Don't turn him away. You know, pray with him. Is it's just so much that I want to tell him as a mother, speaking from experience, what I see him doing, baby, you need to stop because nobody's your friend out there. Those girls out there, you can't trust those girls. The girls are getting worse than the boys these days. And if you got more than them, you have people that be jealous of you, that be jealous and envy of you, and you be having and you keep their company. You be entertained in danger all the time. And this girl, this particular girl, usually I tell my son who I feel like that's not for him. I wasn't around to Kira May as much, but when Justin went out the door, she was at my place here in Georgia. And I was coming down the hallway. I seen her stealing out of the marijuana, out of the weed that he had. I wanted to tell Justin, but I didn't get a chance to tell. I didn't get a chance to tell him, baby, she ain't no good. Because I seen her stealing from him with my own two eyes. We have to stay on our children. I don't care how grown they are. But Justin was 28 years old.
Look, that's when they need us the most. I'm learning since I have grown children now. It, it's like they need me more than ever now.
Yeah. Just like that old saying they get on your nerve when they live, but they get on your heart when they get old.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, to do a 50 feet drop and going 120 miles and you wasn't disfigured, you know your body just went bruised and swole. I was able to show Justin body at the front. I didn't know what to expect when I seen him because of the type of accident they claimed that he was in.
So was he? So you was able to have an open casket funeral.
Yes,
So how? If you don't want to talk about it, we ain't got to talk about it. So for him to been going 120 miles per hour and to plunge 50 feet down head first, what kind of condition was his body in?
he looked like he was asleep and he had a smile on his face. He had a couple of bruises. He had a couple of bruises on his face, but he looked like he was asleep and he was smiling.
Did he have any broken bones?
They said something was wrong with the rib, Justin rib. That's it. It was a robbery gone wrong. I
And
believe it was.
and you going and that's what you feel like happened,
Hmm.
and you sticking to it.
Hmm. because he didn't deserve that. Justin didn't deserve what she set him up and did to him. He didn't deserve
Wow. Is there anything else that you wanted to say? Because this is literally your story. This is literally your time to get anything off your chest that you want to get off. Is
it.
there anything?
Yes, I would like to get help with somebody coming out. I've been looking for a lawyer as well. So so now they can be made to tell where is his belongings, because his belongings is a big key to his investigation,
Right.
to get his clothes tested. And the only thing I want is Justin clothes. Since you said that it was an accident, want to get his things tested from forensic science. That's all. And I want answers. What his things. If they don't have nothing to hide, why I can't get his belongings?
After 2 years, 2.5 years,
2.5 years, because it'll be 3 years in April again.
you deserve it. You deserve to get everything that you asking for. I don't see why. I don't see why you don't have your baby stuff. Have they closed this investigation?
No, it's still pending, saying it was an open investigation. But it's been 2.5 years. How long it take them to investigate?
And you haven't gotten any answers.
No answer.
Wow. Mm-mm. It's just so messed up.
Mm, it is.
It really is. And you deserve answers so that you can not let it go, but so it can just rest and settle in your soul. Okay, now I know what happened, and I can kind of move forward a little bit. So let me ask you this. Try to lighten up a little bit. What things do you do to celebrate Justin? Like when birthdays come along or holidays come along, what things do you do? Because I'm gonna tell you this. Now I went over there and I looked at them pictures that you had sent me of your son. And your son was fine. Now you know you did your good fucking when you made him. You did.
Ah!
So what what kind of things what kind of things do you and your family do, like at functions or around his birthday or holidays? What kind of things do y'all do to like remember him and make sure that he's included and not forgotten?
For the last 2 years, we have went back to the grave site. I go back to Mobile, and we release balloons. We say a prayer. We talk to Justin at the grave. I always leave it private for it could be just Justin, daddy's side of the family and my side of the family, to go out and we release balloons. We say a prayer. We talk to Justin. We cry together. Um, and we just stand out to the gravesite with Justin for his birthday and
Do
release
you
them.
do you feel him? Do you feel him around you? Do he
Yes.
let you know that he's still here?
Hmm.
Because you do realize he's still here. Because energy don't die; it just transforms. I always say, my grandma passed, and I love my grandma to death. Um, when she passed, um, she died maybe like after her funeral, like maybe like 3, 4 days after her funeral. I
Hmm.
got up and I was going in my living room. And my grandmama now, if you know my grandmama and if you had any of her pies, I wasn't no really no big fan of them. because she put too much damn nutmeg in. And nutmeg is so strong. And
Mm.
every so often, when I'm really thinking about her, and ain't nothing getting cooked or nothing, I smell nutmeg. I smell her sweet potato pies so strong. And I'm like, I know that's you, grandma. Cause it smell like weed in here. Why I smell why I smell pie. And I just feel like when I'm really missing her and thinking about her, she kind of, that's her way of kind of taking me on the shoulder and saying, I ain't going nowhere. I'm not here physically. And I'm not here in the way that I was here. But I'm here.
Mm.
I'm still here. You know? And I feel like she protects me and she makes sure that I'm protected. Um, when I was going through something with my daughter not too long ago, and I'm still in the thick of it. But when it was really first happening and I couldn't really deal with it and I didn't know how to deal with it, I smelled it again. And I'm out here, just me and my family, my little family, our little bubble, because all my family is from Alabama. And I just feel like that's her way of telling me, you really ain't out here by yourself. I got you. I'm still here, you know?
Mm.
So how does he let you know that he's still around?
I dream about Justin all the time. I have seen him standing in my room. One time it looked like he had on something sheer and white, and the wind was blowing, like the wind was blowing the clothing that he had on, the sheer clothing. And I turned my head and I looked again, he was gone.
That was just
I,
him. That's just him people in saying, Mom, I know I ain't here every day, but I am here every day. I'm here.
mm,
And
I be in the,
go ahead.
oh, I be in the car, I can feel him. Because he used to ride with me. We used to go places. I used to take him to work, and we used to just did so much together. And sometimes I actually feel him, and I'm shaking as I say this. I actually feel him in the car.
Cause that was your riding buddy.
Yeah, that was my ride.
So, is there anything else, anything that you can think of that you want to say in this moment? Anything before we end this interview?
At this point, I just want answers for what Justin belongings are, so I can do what I need to do with them. What my mind is leading me to do to have them tested. I want the truth to come out. I also want Secure May to go to. I want her to go. I want to see her go to prison for the rest of her life for premeditated murder because this is what I believe it was.
And you have every right to feel how you feel. You have every right to want what it is that you want.
Mhm.
You have every right, and can't nobody tell you or take that from you, tell you how to feel about it. Because as his mother, and as the woman who birthed him and brought him in this world and reared him and raised him and loved him unconditionally, however you feel, you have every right to feel it. Every right. Every right. So, um, people are asking how to reach you if people have info for you. So, how can anybody that want to contact you, anybody that wants to talk to you, pray with you, give you information, how can they reach you?
They can inbox me on Facebook up under Sawanda McCray.
Her flyer is on somebody's business. So if y'all need to know how to spell her name, um, and her name is spelled Suhwanda,
Mm-hmm.
Mccreary. Right. So I just want to tell you, I don't have to know you. Everybody knows that I will cuss a motherfucker out, but I'm really a softie. I just want to tell you that I love you.
I
I
love you.
respect you. Thank you for coming on here because you didn't have to. Thank you for choosing somebody's business because people could see the way I act a fool sometimes and just totally misjudge me and not see that that's one side.
Hmm.
But I'm still a mother, right? And I have a whole nother side. So um, I just want to thank you for coming on here, Miss McCreary.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
Miss Mary.
for choosing to come on this platform and say what it is that you needed to say and say what it is that you needed to get off your heart. Um, Anybody who needs to give her any information, anybody that needs to contact her, whether you want to give her kind words or whatever it is, don't go in her inbox with no bullshit. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. Y'all can be upset because y'all don't like what she's saying, but this is from a, you got to understand this from a mother's point of view, and she has the right. So as always, I love everybody that love me, and I fuck with everybody that fuck with me. And if you don't, and if you got some bullshit to say by Miss Shawana McCreary, bye, bitch. And they're just on motherfucking peers. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.